The only real God is the one that you believe in. Start looking for the God in others. And if you find you're tuning into a wave, well then I don't know much about being saved.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, friends.
Welcome into another episode of Spiritual Philosophy Chatter with the Joneses. I'm Danny Jones.
And I am Samantha Jones.
And this is episode 197.
197.
What are we talking about today?
This is cord cutting. This is an interesting topic and honestly something that I have never done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It'll be cool to talk about it.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, before we do it, anything you want to talk about from last week?
Yeah, so last week we did Time is an Illusion. And Jacqueline said, excellent, and really made me ponder life in general and my favorite takeaway, but then again, not my favorite takeaway. If we don't accomplish it in this life, we will get another chance. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. But if you think about it, it's like we can't really accomplish everything in one life. It's just not possible.
I don't think so.
Because we really are supposed to experience absolutely everything. Mm-hmm. Everything. So we have to come back here. And I know a lot of times that makes people go, ugh. And even me, I'm like, really? I got to come back and do this all over again? Especially,
but you don't remember, so that's the magic of it.
Well, it is. But at the same time, it's like, I worked really hard for these abilities. I'd like to have them in the next life, but probably not. That's probably not how it goes. You know? We'll see, though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Only time will tell.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I also wanted to say real quick, because I've had a few messages today that everybody's going, are you okay? Is it snowing there? What's going on?
Yeah.
Because all over the news, it's California hit with these storms, and we had a crazy storm last night, but we're like the only place in Southern California, I swear, that didn't get snow. It feels like every other place, the coastal communities, Moore Park right here, next city over, they got a huge snowstorm. Not us.
Nope.
But we're fine.
At least we got the rain, so I don't care about the snow.
Yeah, and more to come.
I'll take the rain.
Yeah. But thank you for your concern. We're just fine.
Everybody's good so far.
Yeah, we still got
trees are falling over, but everything's good.
Yeah, we got a couple trees down, but but we'll see. There's more coming. I'm sure it'll be fine. We're just not used to it. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Yeah, for sure. All right, and then we have questions that we answer every week. So the first one is from Shauna. She said, so we're spirits having a lifetime worth of experiences, right? All to learn lessons and to ascend to our higher selves. But why are we doing it? What happens when we finally ascend? Were our spirit selves just silly to point that we all have to make up for what we've done in past lives in order to ascend? I know it's the experiences in life that help us with our karma, but I'm kind of curious about a lot more now. So I think what the goal is, is to be a whole soul. And to be a whole soul, you have to experience, like I was saying a minute ago, absolutely everything. Mm-hmm. So you experience everything, and the goal is to be as close to the source as possible. And the source, the God, the universe, whatever. For me, when I picture the source, I feel like it's this big light, this big ball of energy. Mm-hmm. And like maybe when the Big Bang happened, we were all at peace, all the same, a big ball of energy. And then when we broke off, this big piece stayed, like the source, okay? Right. So we want to be back with the source. We want to get there. But in order to do that, we have to live all these lives and learn all these lessons and, repay all the karma and all of that.
That's exactly what I think. I do think that you're striving to get back to something you are originally part of. Mm-hmm. So if you are a part of the source or God itself is so immense and intelligent, it's not big enough to just come down here and, hey guys, let me walk down Hollywood Boulevard with you.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But if you split yourself up in tiny pieces, then you can now come down here and experience what it's like to be what you created. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope that answers your question a little bit, Shauna. I feel like this is all a goal to be a whole soul and to get back there to that place.
And I feel like we report back those experiences. Like when we go back to the other side, we're sharing then again with the main source what our experience was like.
Yeah.
And that is knowledge.
Yeah.
It's all based on the universe obtaining knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. So if that answers your question, Shauna.
Thanks, Shauna.
And then the next question is from Katie. She says, is there a trick or ways to practice visualizing things, like meditations where they say to visualize your chakras, or when you're trying to manifest? For some reason, I have a very hard time visualizing. And then she sent this a little later. She said, I had the craziest thought the other day. I was thinking maybe I'm not the same soul. I remember in one of the episodes, you and Danny talked about the possibility of a soul being done and leaving the body and another jumping in. And I thought, is that why I can't visualize any of my memories and only see an imprint of a picture of that time because I wasn't the one living in that body? Okay, so let's start with the visualization. Marina also has this problem that she's told us before. She has a hard time visualizing something. When you tell her to picture something in her head, she has a hard time picturing this, playing this out. So I understand what Katie is saying. And we got into it a little bit where I was trying to explain to her how to balance her chakras. And I was telling her how I do it and visualize the pinwheels and all that. And she said, but that's just it. I can't visualize these things moving or this happening. And so I was thinking like, okay, well, there are people that have this issue that they can't visualize things. So maybe instead of visualizing them, like when you're trying to balance your chakras, maybe you're going off of feelings instead of what you're seeing. Like you feel that your heart chakra is out of balance, and so you bring light into it, just feeling the light come into it instead of visualizing it. That maybe these are ways to help with these kinds of things. I don't know why some people can visualize and some can't. That's just kind of mind-blowing to me that some can't visualize their own past, even their own stories, you know. But I think like even for me, it's hard because we all can't really like show each other what we're thinking, what our memories are. But for me, even when like a memory comes in, it doesn't always come in as like a movie playing out. It might just be like what she's talking about, where it's just a picture, a glimpse of what happened.
Yeah.
I still think that's visualizing.
Yeah, sometimes for me it's more difficult to see it, but then, you know, I'll sit there, shut my eyes, and try to get to a place where you're just relaxing and visualizing in your mind. But for some reason, a lot of times I'll interrupt myself because my eyes want to see something. And I realize, well, your eyes are shut, so this isn't a visual. This is, it's like I chase it. Once I start seeing it, then I feel like my eyes want to focus instead of just focusing more on relaxing. Continue to relax, and that vision gets clearer. But the more I try to chase it with my eyes, it goes away.
Yeah, it's not visual like that. It's visual in sense of the third eye.
Yes.
It's kind of like
it's like imagination and daydreaming.
Exactly.
So I know the difference. It's like, but in that process, I can do that multiple times and just interrupt myself, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we all can do that for sure. The second part about, is it because maybe your soul left and another soul came in? I don't think that's it, and I'll tell you why, and I don't know, you might agree with me on this, babe, is that I feel like when this happens, when a soul leaves the body and another one comes in, they're still the same memories. You don't forget those things.
You wouldn't know the difference that it happened. So it's bizarre, but I do believe that imprints can happen like that, where somebody, you know, says, I'm done. I don't really want to like kill myself because that's a waste of a perfectly good body. Right. But that could actually happen, that another soul can come in to finish the experience, but that new soul really doesn't know that they aren't the original owner of the body, and nobody else on the outside would know any different.
That's right. Exactly. I've wondered at times if that's happened. Like, I feel like, and we've talked about this a lot, about how parts of our lives feel like so long ago, like it didn't even happen to you. Like it's a movie. Like you're when you think about it, it's like watching a movie. And so, yeah, I've wondered that same thing is, have I always been this soul in this body, or have I not? I don't know. I guess we'll all find out when we get to the other side how that works.
Yeah.
You know, it trips me out, but I think it's very possible.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think that if it did happen to you, you really wouldn't know.
No, exactly. So that I don't think that that's what's going on, Katie. I think that you just maybe are one of those people that has a hard time visualizing things. Again, I don't know why that happens, but it's not, anything to worry about it.
No.
You still can do the chakra alignment and all of that. I would just do it more off of the feelings instead of the visualizing.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question,
Thanks, Katie.
And then let's do my reading. I always do a reading before we go into the episode. Okay, this is for Sunshine. She says, "This is Duke. Is there anything he wishes I did more of? Is there anything he doesn't like that I could work on? Can you let him know he doesn't have to be fearful of strangers, and we will always put his safety first?" So let's talk to Duke. In this picture, Duke is wearing a very cute, sweater.
Nice.
Shirt. It's very cute. It's like pink and purple and black. I like it. I love to see people with their short-haired dogs like this with jackets on and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, too, people don't think about it, but when they go in the sun, there's not a lot protecting their skin, and so these also help with protecting the skin.
True.
They make special UV blocking shirts for dogs. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's talk to Duke. Okay. He's cute. Is there anything he wishes I did more of? Be happy. Relax. Yeah. He says that you're stressed a lot and you worry a lot and you worry about him a lot. And so he doesn't want you to. I feel like he's good with our animals, they feel our energy, and a lot of times they match our energy. But he does that, but he's also good about being your therapy, so to speak. So he doesn't always match your energy. Sometimes he tries to be the what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know, the level-headed one. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but the one that's not having the issues. He is trying to help you when you're in those problems. He's trying to be your support. Okay. So what he's saying is that he wants you and him to start doing more fun things together, and for you not to worry when those fun things are happening. I totally understand what he's saying because I do this myself. Is when you're experiencing those positive times, you think oh, I love this so much that I know one day this isn't going to be here anymore because our animals don't live as long as we do.
Right.
And so it sucks the joy out of it for you.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want you to do that because he wants you to enjoy the time. And he feels it when you do that sometimes too. And he goes, why does she do that? Because I'm here now. And I don't know why we do that. I do it too. It's oh, I love this moment so much. I never want it to stop. Please don't ever go. So yeah, he wants you to be more happy and not stress so much about things with him because he does pick up a lot of things from you. And so you said, can you let him know he doesn't have to be fearful of strangers and we will always put his safety first? One of the things that I would say in this situation is that he is feeling your stress and nervousness when people come over because you're worried about what he's going to do and how stressed he's going to be. I get that too because I'm totally like that with our dogs, especially with Betty because she doesn't like men. So they feel our energy when we're feeling that way. So we have to remember to try to not, to try and just, okay, this is the way it is. And, I'm going to do my best to handle whatever situation arises and try and be calm for them because they do read our minds too. Even when we don't know it, they're picking up on what we're thinking. That's telepathic communication. And sometimes we don't realize that we're doing it. So Duke says that he will work on that, the fearfulness of strangers, but he needs you to help him by making sure your energy is more stable. So maybe before you have somebody come over, maybe meditate a little bit. Try not to worry so much. Try not to worry about him so much, and be his support instead of the stressor right along with him. So I hope that helps. He's such a cutie pie.
Yeah, he's cute.
Yeah, he is very cute. So thanks, Sunshine and Duke.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. And then, before we get into cord cutting, let's give our info.
Yes.
So you can find me at SamanthaJonesPsychicMedium.com. I have a radio show that airs every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on VoiceAmerica.com on the Empowerment Channel. Last week, the topic was talking to your animals, learning how to do so. So if you're interested, all the episodes are available on demand on any of the podcast platforms. So where you're listening to your podcast right now, you can just go into search for Beyond the Bridge and you'll find it there.
Very good.
Yay. And then you, sir.
Yes, for my art, djonesartcollection.com for the web, at djonesartcollection for Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. There is a reception for the art exhibit. I have a piece in that's currently happening at the Thousand Oaks Civics Arts Plaza in Thousand Oaks. And that's happening March 18th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Very good.
So you're welcome to go in. There's all kinds of entries, people, some really good art. So
yeah, and they have snacks.
And there's probably snacks, yeah.
Yeah, they had good snacks last time.
And there was drinks, I think, too.
Yes.
So if you're in the area or you feel up to it, go for it.
Yeah, check it out.
Yes, that's it for me.
Fabulous.
All right, then. Episode 197, cord cutting.
So, like I said, this was not something that I really knew much about before doing this episode. I've been hearing a lot more about it, and I can see that on TikTok there's a trend going with people with the cord cutting. So I wanted to talk about it. I thought that it would be interesting for our listeners. So first of all, what is cord cutting? Cord cutting is a type of ritual that allows us to sever ties with a person, relationship, place, job, or even a state of mind that no longer serves us. One of the most common uses of cord cutting is to help get over a breakup or former romantic partner. However, cord cutting can be done after ending any kind of toxic relationship with anyone, former friends, family members, boss, or even your own intrusive thoughts, really.
Yeah.
Consciously and unconsciously, humans create energetic ties with others. We just do. We become this attachment. And I think the longer that you're with somebody, too, the more that your energies kind of mesh together.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like we're, like, seriously one energy. Because, like, we sniff at the same time, we cough at the same time. There's so many different things that we do, and I'm like, why did we just do that at the same time? And it's like your energy really kind of meshes with somebody. So you have that established even when the relationship comes to an end. And so you have to kind of find a way to let that energy go. And that's what the cord cutting is about. So I asked our listeners, are you familiar with cord cutting in the spiritual sense? And 37% said yes, 22% said a little, 25% said I don't even know what that is, and 16% said I've heard of it but have never done it. And Nancy said, I did my first cord cutting in 2011 when I got divorced. Honestly, it didn't help or have any impact at the time. Now I understand that the significance to where you are mentally is the most important thing. Now that I know how to do it properly, it is an effective tool in getting over someone or something. And Amanda said, definitely one of the most healing tools to utilize. Jennifer asked, I don't even know if I've heard of this. Does it have anything to do with astral projection? That's a different kind of cord. She's talking about the silver cord.
The silver cord. Yeah.
This is not the silver cord. The
Right.
silver cord is what like attaches your body to the other side, or
It's essentially your life force, really.
yes, right. So when that cord is severed, it's
Right.
because life comes to an end.
Yes.
Basically. So yeah, two completely different things. Something that I do want to point out is that a lot of people do this cord cutting ritual as they call it a spell. A lot of people do it if they believe in evil spirits, But that's not what we're talking about today.
Right.
We're not talking about evil spirits or casting spells. We're
Right.
talking about trying to help to overcome energy from a relationship that is no longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, there's another way of kind of saying is essentially letting go of something that's,
Yes.
you know, bringing you down,
Yeah.
causing, you know, havoc in your life, whether it's yourself or somebody else.
Yes.
Or it's maybe a miserable job.
Yes,
You know?
exactly. It can be anything, really,
Right.
that you're cutting. And at the end of the episode, we're going to do a meditation for cord cutting.
Cool.
So, yeah, I think that'll help people to understand, too, myself included, on how to do this, because I never have.
Right.
So maybe it's worth trying. Energetic cords are not seen with the eye, but are intuitively felt, heard, seen, or recognized. In many spiritual traditions, such as Reiki, shamanism, and energy healing, there are techniques to clear these energy ties. This helps us to feel more in tune with ourselves and release burdens that weren't ours to begin with. Because that's another thing, is we hold the energy of
Yeah.
other people, so we're taking on their burdens and all of that, and
Yeah.
we need to let go of it.
Yeah.
When we cut cords with people whose energy we're feeding off of, we also free them from the issue as well, not just ourselves.
Yeah.
The idea is that when people are in a relationship, or even close friends or families or coworkers, their energy feels meshed together, like what I was talking about. When they separate, they're still in each other's energy field, so they need to cut away from the person's energy field. Cord cutting allows you to visualize that cord and then cut it. This ritual can be done a few ways. Many people find that visualization is enough. Others need to see physical ritual occur in order to process the cutting of the cord. So you can use string, rope, or any form of cord, and candles. And we'll talk about that later too, how that works. You've done a form of this.
Yeah.
It was not like a relation. It was a friendship or, work type relationship. And I think it worked. I think it did in a different way. It wasn't like it healed the relationship.
No, it severed it.
Yes.
It did. It got, I kind of for me, that was the point where I was ready to. There's certain things that can get in your way with this process of cord cutting. I'd say one would be codependency.
Uh-huh.
The other is guilt. Like, what is this going to do to this person?
Right.
Or how am I going to function or do what I was doing before without them?
Yeah, for sure.
And so, yeah, I think that I was ready. I was to a point where I was ready. And this cord cutting, I don't necessarily know, even if a ritual's involved, if this is just a one-time deal or this is something you have to consciously work at. Like, if it comes up for you, you've got to go back to that envisioning, I'm cutting this, I'm setting you free. I'm setting us both free.
Right.
But I was at a point where, like, nothing else has worked and this needs to move forward.
Yeah.
So I have to try this. And it, maybe in my mind I thought, well, it could go one of two ways. Like, it can bring this person in and help them and things can get better, or it will completely sever it. And it did. It was not very shortly after that it severed that. And that person reached out to me with sort of a guilt conscious sort of approach. Like, maybe we should work on the friendship we never did. And I thought, we've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is really going to change.
Yeah.
Especially when there's drug abuse happening to an extent that's just out of control.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with the person. I'm dealing with the chemical.
Yes, for sure.
And that's where I just like, nah.
In all of this, I honestly think that the mind is the most powerful part of it, and that if you believe that you're doing this, then it will work.
That's what I think.
Yeah, you don't need any special tools. It really is, you're basically manifesting this.
Right. But if those things help you,
Yes.
like, and if you're more of a,
Yes.
hands-on, ritualistic kind of person, I don't see a problem with it.
I don't either. I
I
think,
tried
yeah.
it that way.
Yeah, I think if that's how it works better for you, if that you need to see those candles and the cord being cut, if you need to see it in your mind, whatever it is that works for you, absolutely, I think you should do that.
Yeah.
Not everybody needs one or the other. You just have to find what works the best for you.
Yeah.
if you're in a healthy relationship, though, and are just looking to like reignite the passion or something, cord cutting is not the ritual for you. Think of cord cutting like getting rid of the split ends. You might not want your hair shorter, but if you cut off the damaged pieces of it, you will be rewarded with new growth.
Yeah, it's true.
It is, absolutely. It's
a good
great.
analogy.
Yeah, I read that online. I thought that was really good. Cord cutting requires self-reflection, being honest with yourself. That's always comes up in these spiritual practices, is being honest with yourself. And I think a lot of people have a hard time with that.
Mm-hmm.
It also is willingness to take a blind leap of faith that can help you move on from an unhealthy relationship and start creating relationships that are more meant for you. I think I know because I see this a lot in my work, is that people stay with somebody because they're afraid that they're not going to find somebody better.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get to the point where you've decided, okay, I'm going to let go of this cord cutting will help you also to allow fresh energy to come in, for somebody else to come in. Because when you're holding on to all of that from a past relationship, it's really hard to let somebody else in. And I think that's where rebound relationships come into play, is that, you're
filling a void, kind of.
You're filling a void. You're like, I heard something, it was on TikTok, about that. They say that it takes another relationship to get over one, and that is actually true. And that's where the rebound comes in, is that you need that relationship for whatever reason to actually get over the other one. So I think that the cord cutting, it helps in that case too, that maybe you don't need the rebound relationship if you do the cord cutting.
I think depending on the situation or the relationship, sometimes it's a long process, and then sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
My first marriage, within a year, I knew this is not a very healthy relationship. Yeah. But I stayed in it for 18 years. I ended up having a child till the day that I finally, after, a lot of crap, I finally said, I'm done. And I don't know what gave me the strength, because every time before that was like, how am I going to do this financially? And now I have a kid. What am I going to do about this and this and that? And just, I would worry myself into going, I'm not going anywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to stay right here and be miserable and just accept that this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yep.
Something on that day didn't go the way it normally went. Mm-hmm. It was simple decision, almost like I switched a light switch and I said, no more. Mm-hmm. And I will not look back and reflect on anything.
Yeah.
I'm only looking forward. And that does not include this situation.
Yeah.
And I stuck to that, as hard as that road was, going through court and, custody and yada, yada. I couldn't go back. Something just switched.
Yeah, the universe pushed you out of that. It absolutely did.
But there was a conscious knowledge of like, I'm cutting this now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And it's important, if we're not happy, if we're stuck in these kind of relationships, it is important for our own health to be able to let go of them. And it is hard. Like, we have a friend who I know he would really like to get a divorce from his wife, but they have a daughter, and he sees it as more hassle than it's worth. It could cause more damage to his daughter than the divorce.
I know a couple people in that boat. But...
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this one today, though. I feel like, it keeps you bound to something, and you can get through a divorce, and your kids can still be okay, and but people don't see it that way. And I understand, because like you said, I was there too. I didn't have kids.
Right.
It's just that, how am I going to do this? How am I going to move on from something?
Well, and you think that it's giving you a sense of self, like this is who I am. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, this is not who I am.
Right.
My child is who they are, and my spouse is who they are. Mm-hmm. I'm a part of a unit, but I am who I am.
Yeah.
And that feeling of like, how do I do this alone, is terrifying, because all you have really is you.
Right.
For that moment.
Yeah.
But, if you really want to look at it, you come into this world alone and you leave this world alone, and your whole experience is encompassed within you.
Yeah.
You're experiencing it with other people.
Yeah.
And having interactions, but this is an individually based experience.
It is. Yeah. You're never really alone, though, if you think about
You're
it.
not.
Because you always have your spirit guides and your spirit
You're
team
not
around
alone.
you. But I understand what you mean, for sure. It's you. You have to take care of you and think about you. And a lot of people forget about that. So I think this cord cutting can help people that are going through
I mean,
that
I
as
knew
well.
my responsibility as a parent and those types of things. It's like, but it just, in the terms of when you think about, well, one day my child will grow up and go off and do their own thing because they're their own person, their own path, experiencing their own experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. You were kind of talking about this a minute ago, that you can think of this as like many tiny steps towards transition. Each day we are evolving, learning and growing beyond what we once were, and holding on to what we used to be prevents us from moving forward. If we were to continue to accumulate all of this energy from every past thought, action, experience, you would be so heavily weighed down by the burdens of it all. And a lot of people are.
Yeah.
A lot of people walk around with the weight of the world on their shoulders because of all of these experiences and thoughts and things that have happened. Cutting the energy cords helps to move through the transition without the burden of carrying the weight of the past. It frees us to move forward with a sense of openness.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's also okay to cut cords with somebody temporarily. This isn't a ritual to fear, but to embrace. It helps you move on and allow yourself to live happily rooted in the present. But it doesn't mean that you can't come back to somebody if you have cut a cord with them.
Right. Because things can change.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like that's good. That's good knowledge, because I also feel like in this world, I try to say never.
Yeah, me too.
Because I just don't know.
Yeah. Yep. Every time that I say never, something happens and it's not never. So
Yeah.
I don't say that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I could give a lot of examples, some PG and some not. But
Yeah, me
You know,
too. Absolutely.
if somebody would have said, are you ever going to get into a shark tank in Hawaii and swim with sharks or a cage? Never. And, well, I did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't my first choice of something to do, but I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I said I would never paint rocks. I said it was stupid, and
Right.
then I painted rocks.
I said I'll
Happens
never
all the time.
skydive, and damn it, I'm sticking to that one.
Okay, please don't just say I'm just not going to skydive. Yeah, because no, we're not going to do that. Okay, so what are some signs of unhealthy cords that you do have this cord that's attached that you need to work on? So first, your energy feels depleted. People that make you feel that way, they deplete your energy, where an interaction with them afterwards, you might be like, man, I really need to like recenter myself and get some energy going, and yeah. The next one is you feel depressed and or have unexplained sadness. You feel stuck or unable to make a decision. Sorry about the snoring, by the way.
Yeah.
Zuma's laying right next to the microphones.
Sawing away.
He is. Sweet guy. Okay. You have obsessive thoughts about the other person or the situation. This is something that most people do not talk about, but I can tell you from my work and people opening up to me about it, that most people that are going through a breakup or in a bad relationship are obsessive about the relationship. Very much so. I don't know why that is. It's just like, I think we get in our own heads where it's like, what am I doing wrong? This isn't going the way it's supposed to go, and so I have to make it go the way it's supposed to go, and we get obsessed, and yeah, it's not healthy at all.
No.
You speak often about the other person, but most often it's judgmental or depreciating way. So talking bad about somebody, putting them down instead of saying nice things about them. You get sick often. A lot of times this will lower your immune system.
Wears you down.
Absolutely. Just like it said, the first one, your energy feels depleted. When your energy is depleted, it lowers your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
When you're anxious, lowers your immune system, so you're more likely to get sick. You have unhealthy habits and addictive behaviors and seek comfort in things like smoking, binge eating, drinking, drugs, or even seemingly healthy habits such as overexercising.
Yeah.
So if you fall into any of these categories, maybe it's a good idea to look at this and ask yourself, okay, well, what is the relationship that's causing this, first of all, and what can I do to help the situation? I want to do the cord cutting meditation example. You can do this with or without candles. So before we get into the meditation, I'll tell you about how to use the candles if you want to use them. And then you can do this in the future when you're doing cord cutting, or stop this and get some candles and then come back to it.
Sure.
But if you're going to use candles, step one is to gather your supplies. You'll need 2 small candles and a piece of twine or rope to create a loop. You can choose colors based on your intention, but white candles work just fine. If you want to find a list of candle color intentions, you can look them up. Or if you go into a store, like a crystal store or metaphysical shop, that type of thing, they usually have the colored candles, and it usually tells you what they're for. Mm-hmm. So you just have to find the one that you're looking for there. Let's see. Place your candles apart from one another and place the twine around the candles. Move the candles away from each other enough to create some tension between them. It's safest to place each candle in a small candle holder. And then the way that I've seen this usually is like they take the twine and they put it around the candles, but not like as one complete circle, almost like the infinity sign, where there's like an overlap in the center there. Right. Mm-hmm. And then you would do the meditation that we're going to talk about and light the candles and watch them burn. It will burn through the twine, and you can see that happening while you're doing the meditation that we're going to talk about now.
Cool.
All right. So first, let's determine who the person is that we want to release attachments to and reclaim our energy from. We all have somebody. So pick the person. Mm-hmm. Recognize how the relationship might be unhealthy or not needed at this time, or that there's something you need to fix there. Notice what sensations you feel in your body when you bring your mind to this connection with this person. A lot of times when we start to think about the people that make us feel this way, we start to get anxious. Mm-hmm. Your stomach might start to feel weird or whatever. Yes.
Your heart starts increasing.
Exactly.
Beats.
Notice those things. Feel those things. Allow yourself to feel them. Mm-hmm. Find a meditative posture in which you will be able to remain present and comfortable. For most people, this should not be lying down, because people have a tendency to fall asleep when they try to meditate lying down. Better to sit up with a support behind your back so you can fully concentrate. So do those 2 things. Get into your relaxation position, your comfortable posture, and determine who this person is, and think about how that relationship makes you feel. Now we're going to take some deep breaths. So just take your time and take some deep breaths in and out. While you're doing that, relax your shoulders and your jaw. We tend to hold a lot of our stress in those areas. Draw your attention to the base of your spine, where your root chakra is. As you take a deep breath in, notice and feel the length of your spine, and work your way up and relax your shoulders away from your ears. We usually hold our shoulders way up at our ears, so make sure that those are relaxed, and of course make sure your jaw is relaxed. Everything now, your shoulders, your jaw, they should be fully relaxed. If not, take some more deep breaths. You can even do a couple of head rolls and neck stretches, anything that helps you to get into this relaxed state. Once you start to feel more relaxed and connected, start to intuitively feel yourself surrendering to letting go of this relationship. Visualize those energetic cords, or if you are doing the candle cord cutting, watch that cord being cut. Visualize the energetic cords that have formed between you and the other person. How long is this cord? If you're visualizing, what color is the cord? Is it smooth or is it a rough texture? There's no right or wrong answer. Just trust that you are being guided by your intuition and that the information it is providing is correct and relevant. The color, the texture, how long it is, all of that might signify something in the relationship. So definitely try and remember what it was that you were seeing, because you can go online and look up what the color is that you were envisioning of that cord. But again, there is no right or wrong answer for this. If you feel yourself starting to get anxious, or you're just not as relaxed as you were before, all you need to do is take some deep breaths. It's amazing how when you focus on the that it relaxes you. Mm-hmm. It really, really does. Now we're going to set our intentions for the cord cutting. What do you hope to achieve with this cutting? Think about that for a moment. What is the outcome that you hope to achieve? And now we're going to do a mantra, and I want you to just repeat it in your head as you're hearing me say it. I ask at this time to cut any energetic cords that are keeping me attached to, and then name the person. I will allow this person's feelings, words, projections, energies, thoughts, and patterns to return back to them with respect and without harm. I ask that my energies return back to me with respect and without harm. It is safe for us to disconnect. I honor who they are as a person and ask that they see the same in me. I will see them in their wholeness, and I accept myself in my wholeness. Now continue to take deep breaths slowly and consciously while visualizing those cords between you and the other person being cut, or look at your candle. Watch as the energetic energy severs the cord and the attachment. Trust that these attachments are being dissolved as you allow yourself to heal. Remember that your angels and your guides are supporting you and are always there to help raise your vibration and uplift your energy. Sit in that space for a while and take notes of any messages or impressions that you receive. So let's just take some deep breaths for a minute and sit here in this and bring your vibration up, uplift your energy, feel what you're doing, feel how you're releasing this negative energy and releasing this person and making space for the things that you need in your life and in yourself. Feel the other person's energy releasing from your body, your mind, and your soul. You can visualize it even, watch it go. You may feel a rush of energy, chills, tingling, or release of muscle tension. You might start to tear up or feel like you want to cry. Your heart and mind may feel more free and open. These are all signs that this cord cutting is working. Visualize the other person in their own bubble of light and allow your energy to be within your own bubble. Remind yourself that you do not have to match the vibration of that other person, that your energy is now your own energy and their energy is theirs. So take some deep breaths and then we'll come out of this meditation and see how you feel. Take a second. You can practice this cord cutting ritual daily or whenever you feel it's time to release an energetic attachment. Whoever it's to, whatever it's to, at any time, you can do this. Remember that you are not harming anyone or even being selfish by needing to cut that cord. You are freeing your mind, body, and soul of the unnecessary energy that doesn't belong to you or within you. After doing the cord cutting, there are some things that you can do to kind of help yourself to settle into this cord cutting and the new feelings that you're feeling. It's encouraged that you reestablish your energy. There are many ways that you can do this. A few ways: a salt bath, Epsom salt or Himalayan salt. Salt helps to cleanse your energetic body and brings you into a state of balance. And it's also very relaxing. Listen to music.
And detoxifying.
It's very, yes, absolutely. You can smudge. And smudging, what that is it's the ritual of cleansing with smoke. You can use sage or I use just regular incense, like lavender or patchouli incense. I light it and then I walk around the house kind of waving it around. It's really meant to reestablish the connection and get rid of the negative energy. You want to make sure that you open your windows. Anytime you smudge, whether it's for this cord cutting process or not, you want to open your windows, because what you're trying to do is get rid of the energy.
Release the bad.
Exactly. So if this negative energy is, and you're trying to release it, where is it going? It needs someplace to go. So you need to open the windows. Journaling also. Write out everything that you have been wanting to say to the other person. Don't hold back. Share your frustrations and your desires. After all of this is complete, you can even choose to burn the writing as a symbol of release. But a lot of times the journaling is really, really therapeutic. Not just in the moment when you're doing it and getting those feelings out, but I have a lot of journaling that I've done that I look back and I go, wow, I've come so far from that time. Yeah. Like if I would have done cord cutting with people in the past, I know I would look back at that now. Like if I would have journaled that and gone, whoa, I can't believe I even had to do a cord cutting with them. Yeah. Because life evolves. And that's something else that we have to remember, is that when we're in these situations and we're in these relationships, this is not how it's always going to be. This is just the now. So doing the cord cutting or any kind of ritual like this will help that as well. It helps to, it helps the flow.
I agree.
So we're a little bit short on the episode today, but that's really all that I could talk about, the cord cutting. I mean, I know there's more to it. There's a lot of videos online that you can go and look at. We had a couple of listeners that sent us pictures, and it's really cool. So,
I honestly think, there's no right or wrong way as long as you're in tune with your intention.
That's right.
It doesn't matter about the candle and what you say or, what color it is. If you want to do all that, and that's part of what you feel is going to set this intention on the path it should be on, then that's fine.
Yes.
If you just want to sit in a quiet place and do this, I mean, as you were doing this just now, I was working on it with one of mine, and just trying to release them. Not out of like, I got to cut this cord, man, because I'm so sick of you. It's like almost like you're not cutting it.
Yeah.
When you do that.
No.
It's, I'm going to let you go and set you free because I love you.
And it's
and
I
want you
thing.
To be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be happy. But the more I ponder this, I can't be.
Yes. I agree with you on so many levels. And the big one here is, if you believe it, it will happen. Mm-hmm. And so, all of the things, the candles, the visualizations, these are all things to help you to process and to be able to make these things, you feel like they're real and to surrender to them. But honestly, like just saying to the universe, I'm done with this, is enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be some big drawn out process. No. It's where you come to the point where you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. I've done a lot of cord cutting in my life in the way where there hasn't actually been a cord, but where I've gotten to the point with somebody where I'm like, I'm done. And that's it. You have to be able to just say, I'm done. And it's willpower. It's willpower to say, I'm not going to go back to that situation. I don't want to feel like that anymore. There was something that I read when I was going through a breakup a long time ago that was, if you pick at a wound, it doesn't heal because you continue to open it again and again. And so look at the cord cutting as finally stopping to pick at that wound and allowing it to heal once and for all. Mm-hmm. However you do it, whether it's with a ritual or without, it's healing. It's healthy. It's a way for us to move forward in our lives, because sometimes we do have those attachments that it's like, oh man, how am I going to let go of this?
Yeah. Some people could say, oh, well, family's harder to do this with. And some people would say, no, it's easier.
Yes.
I think it just depends on your story and the relationship itself.
Yes.
But yeah, I think there could go, there could be a lot of guilt with the family.
Yes, I agree.
Because you're brought up, this is your blood, family sticks together, blah, blah, blah. But you're seeing this obvious thing happening between whatever it is.
Yep.
And you're feeling it. And I'm sure the other side's feeling it, So it's a tough one.
Yeah.
But anything, that I love or I've put time and effort into is always hard to cut that with. But I can also see in the midst of something I love or, cherish like that, what is it doing to me?
Right. Absolutely.
Is it really doing great things, or is it making me feel good for a moment, but it's bringing a lot of,
Yeah.
pain and suffering along the way?
Yeah. When I was putting this episode together, I was thinking about who would I cut a cord with? Like, who would be my example for me to work on? And you know what? I don't talk about it often, but I will for a minute. And because everybody knows the story about how I found out that I have a father that I didn't know about. But I also have a half brother that I didn't know about. And he has a lot of problems. He's an alcoholic. And this is a relationship that's hard for me, that it never really developed, but he's there in the background and I can feel the energy, and it's hard on me sometimes. And so this is a place where I could do the cord cutting with that relationship of releasing myself from the guilt of I'm sorry, but not wanting to have a relationship with him, because that is also something that you can hold inside. Like you were saying with family, is like, you don't have to have a relationship with them if they're unhealthy and you don't want to.
Yeah.
So you can do this with anybody, and they don't have to know that you're doing it, but they should feel it too. Like, that's how a lot of this works, is when you're putting that energy out there, the other person, they feel it.
Right.
It's like when you think about somebody hard enough, I'm telling you, if you sit there right now and you think of somebody, that person is going to start thinking about you. It's just the way this works. They may even reach out to you. Yeah. It's like this connection that we have, this we are all one. And sometimes we have to let it go.
And some people might ask, well, what do I do if I'm trying to practice this or do this with a particular situation or relationship and it keeps knocking on my door?
Yes.
Like the person keeps messaging me. Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to have to find a way.
Yeah.
And I say nicely because I believe that if you're doing this with good intentions, and you don't want to say a bunch of mean stuff to make somebody go away.
Yeah.
But it can be as simple as, I love you, but I need space from you.
Right. Exactly.
And when the time is right, hopefully we can reconvene at some point.
If a person keeps coming back into your life, especially if it's not family, there's a reason. The universe is testing you to see, what are you going to do? Like, I'll hear a lot of times, especially from women, that they're healing from a relationship, and then all of a sudden the person comes back and they're like, oh, I made a mistake. Well, most of the time that's the universe testing you. What are you going to do? Especially if it's an unhealthy relationship. Are you going to go back to it? Yeah. Or are you going to cut that cord and let it go? Right. And you're right. It's all about good intentions. None of this stuff should ever be done with ill intentions. I don't believe that spells are meant to be ill intentions either, but that's why I don't really talk about spell casting, because I think it's bad. Like, it makes people feel bad intentions when you say spell casting. Right. 'Cause it's not. You're not putting hocus pocus or some type of curse or spell on somebody. You're trying to clear the energy. You're trying to help the situation, and yes, it should always be done with nothing but good intentions in mind.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
Yep. So, anyways, there you
very
go.
Good.
Yay.
We have a lot of snoring, moaning.
Oh my gosh, so
dogs going on
sorry. It's a very doggy vocal day in this room. I think they're all just annoyed with the weather, and so sucks. Yeah, it does. Whatever.
Well, very good.
Hey, I thought it was new information for me. I love learning new things. Yeah. And I'm going to try it myself and see how it works.
I was doing it when you were doing the meditation.
Yeah, good.
It's something I needed to focus on, so.
Yeah, and I hope that it works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we say goodbye to everybody, would you like to share your information one more time?
Yes, you can find me at SamanthaJonesPsychicMedium.com. You can find everything there, the radio show, this podcast, the blog. Like I said, I'm turning these episodes into blog posts now.
Cool.
So keep an eye out for this one. It'll be up probably this week sometime.
Very good.
And then you, sir.
Yes, one more time for my art, djonesartcollection.com for the web, at djonesartcollection for Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Fabulous.
And that's all I got.
Awesome.
We hope that everybody got something out of this.
Yes.
Again, it's kind of something new for us, but it's a good thing to look at.
Absolutely.
And to set yourself free and kind of one more step closer to that inner peace.
I agree. Yes.
So, and we hope everybody has a great week.
That we do.
And until next week.